It's Tuesday, November 10th, and this is your coffee break on the HAN network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, bringing you today's headlines, including an FBI probe in Milford and a string of burglaries in Ridgefield. Rob Adams will have the latest weather and high school sports, while Donald Ang takes a look back on this day in history. We also have a special guest joining us later from the Bridgeport-based Green Village Initiative, which creates school gardens and community farms. They're doing great work, and we'll have a chance to hear more about it later in the show. But first, the FBI Public Corruption Task Force has been investigating how federal grant money was spent in Milford. While there have been rumors about an FBI probe involving Milford circulating for more than a month, city officials have not confirmed that, nor did an FBI spokesman who said the FBI does not comment on matters under investigation unless charges are filed. On Monday morning, Mayor Ben Blake said he was not aware of an FBI investigation and that he too had heard the rumors. He said the FBI had not requested anything from his office. Democratic Town Committee Chairman Rich Smith in October said the rumors were unfounded, categorically untrue. A former city employee, however, who did not want to be named, said Monday that he was called to the Bridgeport FBI office in June and questioned about how contracts are managed and awarded in Milford. The former employee said the FBI questioned several former city employees about the workings of Milford. According to that employee, the line of questioning seemed to focus on kickback-type corruption, and that the FBI asked about protocol in terms of awarding contracts. But the former city employee told the FBI that while he disagreed with some city decisions, he did not see any sign of corruption or illegal activity. On Monday afternoon, Republican Town Committee Chairman Paul Beckwith issued a call for an explanation. Beckwith said the people of Milford deserve honesty, openness, and transparency from all their leaders. He said what has been the worst kept secret for months within the halls of city government has now been confirmed. There's much more on that story at milfordmirror.com. In Bridgeport, police are asking for the public's help in finding a suspect who assaulted a juvenile and stole his bicycle. On Sunday, November 8th, police officers responded to a call regarding a strong-arm robbery outside of an establishment near the corner of Ogden Street and Noble Avenue. Upon arrival, police officers were told by the victim, who is a juvenile, that he had parked his bike outside of the establishment and went inside for a purchase. When the victim came back outside, the suspect was sitting on his bicycle. The victim said to the suspect, "Give it back." The suspect then reportedly responded by punching the victim in the right side of the stomach and then fled on his bicycle westbound down Ogden Street. The bicycle is a red, gray, and black colored Trek mountain bike. Police officers are investigating the incident and ask anyone with information to contact them at 203-576-1311. In Ridgefield, a man carrying a knife forced his way into an occupied house on Mamanasco Road on November 4th and reportedly left with cash. Between October 31st and November 5th, there have been multiple burglaries, according to the Ridgefield Press, as well as vehicle break-ins, and all of these incidents have occurred within the same area of town. On October 31st at about 5:45 in the evening, a burglary was reported and about $180 in cash was taken, as well as some costume jewelry reported missing. Rooms within the home were ransacked and forced entry was used to gain access. The same house was also burglarized on November 1st between the hours of 9 and 3:30. Rooms were ransacked and items were intentionally destroyed. However, it did not appear that anything was taken from the residents. On November 2nd, a home on Old Sib Road reported a vehicle break-in, and on November 4th at approximately 1 in the afternoon, a resident on Mamanasco Road reported that her home had been broken into. In this incident, the resident had answered the door for a white male subject who reportedly forced his way into the home. It was reported that the male subject was carrying a knife at the time. He's described as being about 5 feet 5 inches tall, about 20 to 25 years old, wearing a black hooded sweatshirt and high-top sneakers. No further description was provided. An undetermined amount of cash was reported missing. There's a lot more on that story at theridgefieldpress.com. Well, continuing his Second Chance Society initiative, Governor Daniel P. Malloy on Monday opened a Veterans Unit and a State Department of Corrections unit in Enfield. Malloy joined state officials, advocates, and DOC Commissioner Scott Semple in a ceremony at the Cybulski Reintegration Center. The new veterans unit there is set up for inmates who have served in the United States military to prepare them for re-entry into the community. The new unit will house 110 veteran inmates, offering programs aimed at reducing recidivism and saving taxpayer dollars while reducing crime, including life skills training, substance abuse treatment, peer support, mental health treatment, and employment readiness. Malloy said, "We need to change our approach in the criminal justice system, and they're tailoring their services within the prison walls." He said, "By doing that, we can lower the crime outside of them." Malloy went on to say that too many of our veterans end up mixed into the criminal justice system following their return to civilian life. While incredibly heartbreaking, he said, it is critical that we provide the support services to address the unique needs of our veterans. He said, our Second Chance Society initiatives are game changers so that we can prevent recidivism and eliminate long-term cycle of crime and poverty. Well, in Darien, during the early morning hours of November 1st, a police officer on patrol saw a black Mercedes convertible pulling out of a private driveway leading to an undeveloped portion on Locust Hill Road. According to police, the vehicle's high beams were turned on as he passed, prompting the officer to turn and follow. As the officer trailed the car, he noticed that the Mercedes increased speed, at which point the officer conducted a stop. The driver was then identified as 56-year-old Thomas Lindsay of Darien. He allegedly told police he was returning home after dropping a friend off. Police said Lindsay had a large wad of chewing tobacco in his lip and his eyes were glassy at the time. He allegedly admitted that he had been arrested in 2014 for DWI and claimed to have been drinking. He told police he had an ignition interlock device, which requires a breath test to start, installed on a different vehicle, which had a dead battery. Police allegedly detected the scent of alcohol coming from the car, at which point Lindsay admitted to having 1 to 3 beers earlier in the evening at Ernie's. The officer at the scene called for an additional officer to assist in conducting field sobriety tests, but at this point, Lindsay got into his car and attempted to leave. The officer yelled for him to stop, but the accused began driving west on Old Kings Highway South at a high rate of speed. Police pursued Lindsay to his McCrea Lane home, where he allegedly attempted to turn into his driveway. However, the officer in pursuit pulled in to block the driver's side door. He ordered Lindsay to get out of the car 4 times, and Lindsay eventually pulled from the vehicle and was handcuffed to the ground. Lindsay refused to submit to field sobriety tests and also declined breath tests by police. There's more on that story at DarienTimes.com. Going to throw it over to Rob Adams now for the latest on today's weather. Rob?
All right, Kate, good morning, everyone. A rainy day, high near 59, with an east wind from 6 to 11 miles per hour. We have a 100% chance of precipitation. Wish I had better news, but then again, we have to look at the positive and say that we need the rain. The new precipitation amounts will be between 1/10 and 1/4 of an inch possible, more of the same as we go through tonight and tomorrow. So we're going to get hit with quite a little bit of rain over the next 24 hours. That chance of rain continues before 10 tonight, then rain mainly after 10 tonight with a low around 47 and a north wind climbing to 11 to 14. Going to be chilly and raw. For Wednesday, Veterans Day, as we said yesterday, and we'll say it tomorrow as well, make sure you thank a vet, think of them tomorrow. Light rain likely, we should think of them every day, in fact, mainly before 2. Cloudy with a high near 53 in the north wind, 9 to 14 miles per hour. 60% chance of precipitation, mostly cloudy for Wednesday night, low 43. To Thursday, showers likely, mainly afternoon. I just don't have great news for you. Mostly cloudy, a high near 56 with an east wind from 5 to 9. 70% chance of rain. It rolls on into Thursday night. The chance of rain much slighter by that point. Gradually becoming clear, low 47. Sunny and 59 for Friday. Sunny and 51 for Saturday. 52 Sunday, 54 as we get back to work on Monday. In Greenwich, it's 54. Ridgefield has just 49 degrees. And in Shelton, it's 55. Kate, back over to you.
All right, thanks so much, Rob. Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Donald Ang's going to take a look back on this day in history. Rob's going to have the latest in local sports, and we have a lot more news coming up on your coffee break after this.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express, open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
Darien Sport Shop is a unique store because it's a family store. A busy mom can come in with kids in tow and find everything she needs for them, and even find a dress for herself for Saturday night. And if she's in a rush, she can simply go home and order it from us that night. We'll deliver it the next day. The Darien Sport Shop. We're pretty on the outside and amazing on the inside. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting applications for its 2015 camps. Our elite faculty of NFL coaches and top professionals teach position-specific on the field and in the classroom to improve your football IQ and help you reach your full potential as a player. Apply today at footballuniversity.org. Football University, where technique plus talent beats talent alone.
The fall bite is heating up. Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait in the Long Island Sound. This is the time to visit the New England coast, and the Dock Shop can get you outfitted with the latest fishing gear, jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece. Boater, beach bum, fishermen simply love the New England coast. This is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Right. Have no fear. Hersom Acorn's Fast Frights movie contest is here. Visit fastfrights.com for more details. The only thing to fear is missing the deadline.
You are watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. 102,000 viewers have enjoyed the HAN Network in just the last 6 weeks. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
And we're back on this cloudy Tuesday on your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, and Donald Dang is going to tell us what happened on this day in history. Don?
Well, Kate, a fictional Manhattan street became a household term that has lasted nearly half a century. But first we go to 1775. The U.S. Marine Corps, founded at Tun Tavern in Philadelphia. Following the Revolutionary War, the Continental Navy and Marines were actually disbanded, though Congress reauthorized Marine battalions in 1797 during the quasi-war with France. 1871, Henry Morton Stanley locates missing explorer and missionary Dr. David Livingstone near Lake Tanganyika, famously greeting him with the words, "Dr. Livingstone, I presume." Livingstone had been a famous explorer and missionary. Stanley had been sent by a newspaper to find him after Livingstone had disappeared 6 years earlier. Livingstone, by the way, was never actually lost. He simply had no interest in communicating with the outside world. 1975, 40 years ago, the 729-foot ore hauler Edmund Fitzgerald sinks in a November storm on Lake Superior. When launched in 1958, it was the largest ship on the Great Lakes, and it remains the largest ever to have sunk. Gordon Lightfoot made the subject his 1976 song after reading an article, "The Cruelest Month," in the November 24th, 1975 issue of Newsweek. 1983, Bill Gates introduces Windows 1.0. It was received poorly by critics who felt it did not meet their expectations. In particular, the complaint was it relied too much on mouse input at a time when that was not yet very common. And finally, 1969, there was this.
Keep the dark clouds away. On my way to where the air is free. Just the time we have to get to Sesame Street.
that is 1969, the National Education Television, the predecessor to PBS, debuts Sesame Street, the famous children's television program, the first kids show to integrate an educational curriculum. It has won 159 Emmy Awards, and estimated 95% of Americans of the appropriate age demographic have seen the show since it first launched, although less in Mississippi, where it was banned in 1970. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
I did, yes.
Wow.
Apparently the cast was a bit too integrated for 1970 in Mississippi. You can watch it now in the great state of Mississippi, so don't worry about that. That's your look back in history, and I'm Don Lane.
All right, thanks so much, Don. Well, before we throw it over to Rob Adams for the latest in high school sports, getting back to a little more news today, a Connecticut middle school teacher fired after a video emerged showing him acting aggressively toward a student and pulling a chair out from under him, says he regrets the confrontation and never meant for it to get out of hand. David Pfaff, who worked at Harry M. Bailey Middle School in West Haven, said he asked the student to get up so others could use a table, and the student refused, at one point using inappropriate language. Pfaff says he felt getting school security involved would be overkill, so he removed the chair, hoping the student would be forced to stand. Instead, the student fell to the floor, and another student captured the incident on a cell phone. Pfaff was escorted from the school by police, who have opened an investigation. All right, time to throw it over to Rob Adams now for the latest in high school sports. Rob?
All right, Kate, thanks everyone, and good morning to one and all. Let's start in Class LL girls soccer from yesterday, where Darien knocked off Staples 2-1. Katie Ramsey and Katie Cronin with the goals. A lot of Katies on that team. They play the top seed, Glastonbury, on Wednesday. Greenwich beat Cheshire 2-1. Good game between New Canaan and Amity. They finished in a 1-1 draw. However, New Canaan won 10-8 on penalty kicks. Katie Donovan made those 8 saves in overtime. They play at number 7 Middletown on Wednesday. Ludlow beat E.O. Smith 6-1. Wilton won. West Hill nothing. And Hall knocked off Trumbull 2-1. That took double overtime. By the way, in that Wilton game, Ali Dejana had the goal there. We move on to Class LL volleyball. It was Ludlow over Hall 3-0, scores of 25-9, 25-11, and 25-16 for the FCAC champions. Staples over Shelton 3-0, 25-22, 25-18, and 25-13 in that one. Trumbull over Newtown 3-1, with Trumbull losing the first game 25-20, but they go on to win 25-18, 26-24, and 25-16. Mia Hamford had 13 kills, 8 digs, 11 service points. They'll play number 4 Cheshire on Thursday. Ward over Stamford 3-1. Greenwich beat Bristol Central 3-0. Class M volleyball, it was St. Joseph over Suffield 3-0. And in Class S volleyball, Trinity Catholic took care of Northwest Catholic 3-2. Much more on all of that later on Nutmeg Sports. As for the schedule today, it's a boys soccer fiesta today in the first round, with Class LL getting underway. Number 29 Norwalk is at number 4 South Windsor. Number 28 Central at number 5 East Hartford. 23rd ranked Wilbur Cross is at number 10 Danbury. Number 11 Darien, home for number 22 Ridgefield in an all FCAC showdown in the Raindrops. 20th seeded Staples at number 13 Hall. Number 19 Greenwich at number 14 Ludlow. So all FCAC there. The 25th ranked Trumbull Eagles go to number 8 Cheshire. The Rams at 6. Number 18 Shelton at number 15 Wilton over at Lily Field. And number 17 Ward takes on number 16 West Haven. From field hockey, number 10 Brantford is at the 7th ranked New Canaan Rams at 6 o'clock. We'll have, as I said, much more on Nutmeg Sports later today at 2. With sports, I'm Rob Adams. Back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Rob. Well, because of several Midwestern and Western oil supply disruptions, Connecticut gas prices are starting a slow climb. This week, average prices here are up 0.01 cents compared to last week, according to AAA Northeast. Overall, however, prices are still lower compared to last month and last year. Today, the average price of a gallon of regular gas in the Nutmeg State is $2.29, a penny higher than it was last week, but 0.08 cents lower than last month, and a whopping 0.96 cents lower than this time last year. On the national level, the story is similar. The average price of a gallon of self-serve regular today is $2.22, up just about 0.03 cents compared to last week. Oil prices moved higher earlier last week because of oil supply disruptions from several unplanned outages in the Midwest. However, the strong supply of global oil most likely will keep prices low as travelers prepare for the upcoming Thanksgiving travel weekend. AAA's weekly survey of prices in the Nutmeg State looked at 4 regional areas. In the greater Bridgeport-Sanford area, the average price is about $2.40. In New Haven and Meriden, it's $2.27. In the greater Hartford area, $2.26. And in New London and Norwich area, $2.26. Well, in New Canaan, when a Bridgeport man was stopped for having a defective marker light at around 10 p.m. on November 6th, he was likely confident police would not find the marijuana in his vehicle because, according to the New Canaan Advertiser, he had a secret compartment in what was a can of Arnold Palmer tea and lemonade. However, Apollo, the department's canine dog, happened to be in the police car, and he quickly zeroed in on the can, which contained a baggie with pot. The driver received an infraction for possession of less than half an ounce of marijuana and a ticket for the marker light. Well, Silver Hill Hospital in New Canaan will introduce on November 18th the only program in the tri-state area for adults with eating disorders. Over 30 million Americans suffer from eating disorders, considered the deadliest mental illness in the country. The most common eating disorders among Americans include anorexia nervosa, bulimia nervosa, and binge eating disorder. Many suffer from other related problems such as anxiety and substance abuse, which can be attributed to the deteriorated physical condition and self-esteem. Half of the people with eating disorders are also diagnosed with depression, according to Silver Hill. Aaron Clyfield has more than 30 years of experience treating eating disorders and is the director of the new program at Silver Hill. Before this new program, Silver Hill treated eating disorders on a supplemental level only. The new program allows for a more structured approach. Dr. Clyfield's expertise, matched with Silver Hill's president and medical director Sigmund Ackerman and a staff of qualified and devoted experts, deliver a program with 3 levels of care that includes inpatient, residential, and recovery support follow-up. According to Dr. Clyfield, the program primarily attempts to generate different attitudes and a different experience of how they can experience themselves, how they can experience their relationship with food, and how they can experience their relationship with people. You can get a lot more information on that program at ncadvertiser.com. Going to throw it back to Rob for another quick look at today's weather. Rob?
All right, Kate, rainy day, high near 59, east wind 6 to 11. Tonight, chance of drizzle or light rain before 10, then rain mainly after 10, low around 47. Veterans Day, light rain likely mainly before 2, a cloudy day, high near 53. Wednesday night, mostly cloudy, low 43. Showers likely for Thursday, mainly afternoon, mostly cloudy with a high near 56. And a slight chance of showers before midnight Thursday night, and we have a low around 47. Sunny and 59 as I try to give you something good to smile for. Partly sunny and 51 for Saturday. Greenwich has 54, Ridgefield climbing up to 50, and Shelton has 55 degrees, Kate.
All right, thanks, Rob. We're going to take another quick break, come back with a lot more news on your coffee break after this. In Pound Ridge since 1993, the Wine Connection is one of America's best wine shops. Visit our beautiful store for the greatest in wine and knowledgeable service. With wonderful values from around the world to collectibles for your cellar, we are your one-stop source. Visit our online shop at wineconn.com and make sure to sign up for email updates. With great offers, new arrivals, and special events, don't miss all the action at The Wine Connection, including tastings every weekend. The Wine Connection, located at 32 Westchester Avenue, Pound Ridge, New York.
It's time to come back to hometown banking.
where people are taken into account, not just balances. Where community comes first. A place where there's more than one kind of interest. Where automation will never replace consideration. Where they not only know your name, they know your dog's name too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
Back to school means back to busy, and Stewart's Market can save you precious time by stocking all of your favorite essentials under one roof. For a healthy start to school, we have all the ingredients. Walter Stewart's, your family-owned fresh local market, 229 Elm Street and at stewartsmarket.com.
Tired of all the bull? Relax and enjoy the experience of buying a car at Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram. No bull allowed.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com.
We're back on this Tuesday, November 10th edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski. Getting back to some of today's news, the Milford Board of Education on Monday night approved a plan to reduce walking distances to school for Milford students for the next school year, meaning more students will be eligible to ride the bus next year. But the decision was not without some dissension, according to the Milford Mirror, which the plan will cost about $288,000. Some board members said they felt it was way too much to spend. For students in middle school, the revised transportation policy reduces their walking distances from 1.5 miles to 1 mile. For high schoolers, it goes from 2 miles to 1.5 miles, and for elementary school students, the distance will stay the same at 1 mile walking distance. Students who live beyond those distances will be able to ride the school bus. Well, Ridgefield's Prospector Theater is on Broadway. The theater has become an even brighter beacon of light for adults with disabilities. The theater is also celebrating its 1-year birthday, opening this month with a video billboard in Times Square. The theater is asking those who are in New York and visiting Times Square to stop and take a selfie with Marky, who wants one thing for the theater's birthday: a kiss on the cheek. And as you can see, we're playing some of that video right now. So if you're in New York, be sure to take a selfie with Marky. Well, in other news, Stockbridge's Cheesecake has made its way back to Shelton, but under a new name and new ownership. Located in the same Howe Avenue address, Dee's Kitchen now fills that short-lived void. Brian Stockbridge is the man behind the cheesecake that was awarded Best in Connecticut 11 years out of the 15 that Stockbridge Cheesecake was open for business. Stockbridge says it's much different adjusting from being the owner to being an employee, but he guarantees the same high-quality product that customers have grown to love. And there's a lot more on that story at sheltonherald.com. And just getting back to some of our top stories this week, the FBI Public Corruption Task Force has been investigating how federal grant money was spent in Milford. While there have been rumors about an FBI probe involving Milford circulating for more than a month, city officials have not confirmed that, nor did an FBI spokesman who said the FBI does not comment on matters unless charges are filed. A former city employee, however, who did not want to be named, said Monday that he was called to the Bridgeport FBI office in June and questioned about how contracts are managed and awarded in Milford. The former employee said that the FBI questioned several former city employees about the workings of the city. There's a lot more on that story at milfordmirror.com. And Bridgeport police are asking for the public's help in finding a suspect who assaulted a juvenile and stole his bicycle. On Sunday, November 8th, police officers responded to a call regarding a strong arm robbery outside of an establishment near the corner of Ogden Street and Noble Avenue. Upon arrival, police officers were told by the victim, who is a juvenile, that he had parked his bike outside of the business and went inside to make a purchase. When he came back outside, the suspect was sitting on his bicycle. The suspect responded by punching the victim in the right side of the stomach and then fled on his bicycle westbound on Ogden Street. The bicycle is red, gray, and black colored Trek mountain bike. Police officers investigating the incident asked that anyone with information contact the Bridgeport Police Department at 203-576-1311. Also, just hearing a report from our editorial director, John Kovach, that a car has crashed through a pole on Nichols Avenue in Stratford. Police are trying to keep traffic moving in both directions, but just be aware of that. We are going to take a quick break and come back with a special guest, as we mentioned earlier in the hour. That's coming up on your coffee break after this.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
Darien Sport Shop is a unique store because it's a family store. A busy mom can come in with kids in tow and find everything she needs for them, and even find a dress for herself for Saturday night. And if she's in a rush, she can simply go home and order it from us that night. We'll deliver it the next day. The Darien Sport Shop. We're pretty on the outside and amazing on the inside. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting applications for its 2015 camps. Our elite faculty of NFL coaches and top professionals teach position-specific on the field and in the classroom to improve your football IQ and help you reach your full potential as a player. Apply today at footballuniversity.org. Football University, where technique plus talent beats talent alone.
The fall bite is heating up. Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait in the Long Island Sound. This is the time to visit the New England coast, and the Dock Shop can get you outfitted with the latest fishing gear, jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece. Boater, beach bum, fishermen simply love the New England coast. This is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Right.
Have no fear. Hersom Acorn's Fast Frights movie contest is here. Visit fastfrights.com for more details. The only thing to fear is missing the deadline.
You are watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. 102,000 viewers have enjoyed the HAN Network in just the last 6 weeks. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
And we're back on your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, and we're joined by a special guest right now, Christina Sandolo, who is the Executive Director of the Bridgeport-based Green Village Initiative. Christina, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us what the Green Village Initiative is all about.
Sure, so we're a nonprofit based in Bridgeport, as you mentioned, and we create economic, social, and environmental change through a unified network of urban gardens, so community gardens, school gardens, and urban farms.
And when did you guys start?
We were founded back in 2008, actually, and so we were doing some school garden work in a few towns, Darien. We did a lot of work in Westport. We've since sort of started focusing on Bridgeport since 2011. So we've got 13 community gardens, we've got about 24 school gardens, and we have an 1.5 acre urban farm that sells to the Bridgeport public school cafeterias, which is exciting. And we also have a youth leadership program, which enrolls 20 youth, Bridgeport and and some students from outside of Bridgeport as well, high school and college age students. So we do sort of youth leadership and urban agriculture.
Now, what does the initiative see as the benefit of having these kind of community gardens and school gardens? What is the goal?
Sure. So not only do we increase consumption of healthy food and increase access to healthy food for Bridgeport residents, but we also see ourselves as creating some economic opportunities as well. So we're going to start cultivating some growers from our community garden network and also our school garden network so that they can start becoming vendors over the next few years at some neighborhood farmers markets, which we're pretty excited about. So we're creating some economic opportunities, impacting family food budgets, increasing access to healthy food, but as I said, also creating young leaders of change within the city. So we do a lot of food justice programming and social justice programming through our youth program. So we're really trying to cultivate leaders of change within the city of Bridgeport.
Now, is there anything that stands out to you as one of the accomplishments or moments that you're most proud of just in doing this work?
Sure. I would say, let's see, that's a good one. I would say this summer, just working with our youth program, and we had our youth working together over the course of probably the 3 or 4 month season, so from the beginning of May through the end of August, and just seeing them become so engaged in the work that they were doing and become their own sort of community and a community of friends together that were working side by side to grow healthy food in the neighborhood, but also to be the voices of health in the neighborhood, in the North End neighborhood of Bridgeport, in the reservoir community. So becoming those voices of sort of change and health and positivity for the neighborhood.
Now, would you say there's something empowering about knowing how to grow your own food and going through that whole process?
Sure. So, there are a lot of our gardeners are very skilled at growing their own food, which is incredible. So our community gardens grow hundreds of pounds of healthy food every day, but one of the things that we're really trying to do as well is a lot of education in the neighborhood throughout the city of Bridgeport. So at Reservoir Community Farm, we host field trips for elementary school students. So we've got hundreds of kids coming into the farm. So they'll be led by our youth intern participants. So we've got, high school kids and college kids leading younger elementary kids on workshops that talk about nutrition and healthy eating, but also, helping to educate kids in growing their own food and harvesting food. And we also do a lot of work with our school gardens. So our interns and our staff will go into some of our schools where we have school gardens and do harvest days or do workshops for our school garden coordinators to make sure that folks feel empowered to grow their own food and have the resources and access to education and knowledge that they need to grow as much food as they can.
Yeah, and do you think because of the work you guys do and a lot more awareness that's out there that we're starting to see a shift in the way people think about nutrition and food and all of that? Do you think it's working?
I think so. Folks are getting very excited about healthy food, especially in Bridgeport. I think across the country as well, the trend is sort of moving in that direction. But I was working closely with some of the farmers markets in Bridgeport in the past, and in 2014, over $90,000 of healthy food was purchased at those farmers markets, primarily by low-income consumers in Bridgeport. So we are seeing the demand for healthy food. So Green Village Initiative is now in the role of producing that healthy food and trying to get as much healthy food into the schools and into the communities as we possibly can. So again, through making sure that some of our gardeners have opportunities to sell the food that they're growing at farmers markets, making sure that our urban farm is selling as much food as we can to the Bridgeport school system so that it gets into the cafeterias. And making sure that our school gardens and interns are learning as much as they can about being the next generation of food growers and agents of change in Bridgeport.
That's fabulous. Why is it so important to bring a program like that to Bridgeport? Why was it needed?
There are some neighborhoods that lack access to affordable, healthy food. There are also there is a need for youth development programs as well. So we see our organization as being part of the solution for both of those things. So again, creating opportunities for youth within the reservoir community to work alongside each other, and also again just bringing together the community. And so when you've got a community of hundreds of growers across the city, you really start to create change and sort of create this practice of this community of practice for growers throughout Bridgeport. So.
And you guys actually have a big event coming up on Monday that's sold out, I hear.
We do.
Which is pretty fabulous. Tell us about that.
We're having a fundraiser at Avocala Restaurant, one of Bridgeport's best restaurants downtown, on the 16th, so Monday from 6 to 10. We have sold out. We are extremely excited. The folks at Avocala are just incredible, and they're hosting our event for us, and also pretty excited about being able to use some local produce and local meat products as well to create just incredible appetizers that our friends and supporters will be able to enjoy. But yeah, we are sold out. It's going to be a fun event downtown Bridgeport, 6 to 10 on Monday. There's information about the event on our website, which is www.gogvi.org. So that's GoGVI, as in Go Green Village Initiative.org. And so there's information about that event up there, and also other opportunities to donate and support us.
Great. I was going to say, if people missed getting tickets to this, how else can they help you guys out?
Sure. Actually, we've got a great partnership with Newman's Own Foundation that we're very fortunate to have and grateful for. And they're actually sponsoring a online campaign that will be running from November 24th through December 1st, in which they'll be matching up to $10,000 of donations through a CrowdRise website. So again, all of that information is on our website. It's gogvi.org. And if donations are made through that CrowdRise website, they will be matched by Newman's Own Foundation between November 24th and December 1st.
Oh, that's great. All right. Well, Christina, thanks so much for coming and talking to us about this.
Thanks so much for having us.
All right, Christina Sandola of the Green Village Initiative. That's going to do it for your coffee break. We're going to wrap things up. We'll see you tomorrow at 11. Great job.